Sun cast a shadow, a digital line is coming over the mountain and over your mind. Double down your Bitcoin, hang on for the ride. We're moving into the future, one block at a time. We're moving into the future, one block at a time.
Welcome to Once Upon a Coin, documenting the ongoing history of blockchain and cryptocurrency. And as always, I'm your storyteller, Jason Cassidy. Today's tale is about a platform that created the means of enjoying the experience that Ethereum brought us all with NFTs or non-fungible tokens. Except these guys did it years before them, and they did it all on Bitcoin. This is the story of Counterparty. So let's kick things off first by looking at what Counterparty is. A platform that allows users to create, trade, and issue custom digital assets on the Bitcoin blockchain. It was created by co-founders Robert Demody, Adam Krellenstein, and Evan Wagner. And like so many other iconic projects of its time, it got launched on the Bitcoin Talk forum on January 2nd, 2014. Counterparty came with its own token called XCP, as well as a DEX or decentralized exchange, where users could buy and sell unique digital assets that they minted themselves. So basically, Counterparty was doing NFTs before the term existed or the Ethereum blockchain was even launched. This isn't a minor detail here. While NFTs are pretty popular today, back in early 2014, this served as something of a revelation to many people who were realizing that Bitcoin was capable of much more than just being a simple payment solution. Consider how big Solana, Wax, Flow, BNB chain, and Ethereum are today due to the countless number of use cases the other side of the blockchain represents, non-fungible or unique assets. This is some truly historical stuff we're talking about here.
Counterparty, or also known as the XCP protocol, adds additional functionality to Bitcoin. Counterparty is an open source protocol that anyone can use to create, trade, and sell NFTs on Bitcoin.
So it shouldn't come as much of a surprise to learn that Counterparty gained popularity right out of the gate due to the groundbreaking value proposition that they were offering cryptonauts. Part of the allure here is this wasn't a new standalone blockchain that couldn't be trusted yet as a network handling the creation of new digital assets. This was on Bitcoin, the king of crypto and the darling of the digital currency world. Counterparty issued its token, XCP, through a proof of burn mechanism which effectively allowed users to burn Bitcoin in exchange for freshly minted XCP. As the team outlined on the Counterparty website, the reason behind releasing their currency like this instead of a more traditional sale where users would exchange Bitcoin for XCP was due to the ethos of Bitcoin itself and what Satoshi stood for. They wanted things as fair as possible, and they also wanted everyone holding XCP to have some skin in the game from both a financial and an ideological perspective.
Counterparty is a very important block on the road to where we are now. That's the most solid thing you can do to create a coin is burn Bitcoin and create another token, but still wants to utilize Bitcoin's core utility.
Users quickly began to join the platform as they were finding these new utilities to be pretty damn cool. Counterparty allowed you to create tokens that had unique properties and rules both around supply and issuance. People soon realized that on Counterparty they could finally create blockchain-based assets that actually worked. Things like in-game items, loyalty points, digital IDs, and concert tickets. And all these things could be stored on the platform's native wallet called CounterWallet. You can think of Counterparty as Bitcoin's first ever massive upgrade innovation, bringing in the required plumbing for allowing the creation of digital assets that represented something in either the virtual or physical world. What's even cooler than this is that Counterparty soon gave users the ability to create smart contracts and decentralized applications, or dApps, all running on Bitcoin. So while it's true that Ethereum helped popularize smart contracts, it was actually Counterparty and Bitcoin that first showed the world the power of this technology. By 2015, projects were beginning to utilize the Counterparty platform in many different interesting ways. One iconic project that showed up around this time was the first blockchain-based collectible card game in history called Spells of Genesis, which enjoyed a ton of fan favor right after its release. And just 1 year later in 2016, the first seeds of what is now a massively popular crypto art scene were planted when the Rare Pepes project was launched. And it all happened on Counterparty.
Anyone who is into NFTs or Web3 now, with the Punks, CryptoKitties, Dapper Labs kind of driven narrative, the first generation started in 2015 on Counterparty. There was a lot of tests minted, that are worth some serious money nowadays because it shows the timestamp. And from there, you had Spells of Genesis, Rare Pepe, and now Counterparty has kind of taken on a culture of its own. Counterparty's ecosystem isn't overly user-friendly as we're used to with MetaMask, Uniswap, and a number of the newer Web3 tools. And I believe a lot of those Pepe scientists are called big brains for a reason. You had to be a very tech-savvy individual and be testing and trying new things.
The team just kept pumping out new features around this time as well, like the ability to create smart contracts that could hold multiple types of assets. They also made more tools available for developers to use, like APIs to interact with Counterparty, while updating the user interface to make it less intimidating to begin creating and managing your own digital assets. The platform was seeing increased adoption, and by the time 2017 came around, they had a pretty healthy active user base coupled with a list of projects that were now launching on Counterparty. A feature that many users appreciated that Counterparty made possible on its platform was the ability to conduct multi-signature transactions. This offered a high level of security for asset holders while also helping teams that were working remotely function easier if they chose to build on top of Counterparty. Now, if you know your crypto history, then you're already well aware that 2017 played host to a crazy bull market in crypto. And this did wonders for Counterparty's token XCP, which made a lot of early adopters incredibly wealthy around this time. It reached its all-time high just as the calendar was flipping over to 2018, clocking in at a very healthy $103 US per token. Sadly, things didn't go too well for Counterparty after this though. By the springtime, it was becoming clear that this party was now over, with the bear market now beginning in earnest, taking down everything in its path, including XCP, which fell all the way to $10 USD per token. And by the end of the year, the token was now truly floundering, barely being able to stay above the $2 mark. Ouch. This didn't stop the team though from continuing to improve the platform, because just as Bitcoin evolved, so too did Counterparty. One such example of this was adding in SegWit or segregated witness support, which would help users save on their transaction fees. Despite the market being in the midst of a very frigid crypto winter, there were still projects actively looking to make it work on Counterparty. A niche that the platform began to carve out for itself was blockchain-based games, at least partially due to the fact of how easy it was to create, buy, sell, and trade in-game items. One such example of this is Sarutobi Island, which even allowed users to make purchases on the Lightning Network. But one of the main challenges that Counterparty was now facing was that a lot of time had passed since they had debuted all the way back in 2014. Ethereum had already risen to become the second most dominant blockchain, having captured the hearts and minds of the public with their token standards, which had opened up the floodgates to a world of innovation. And even though many of those innovations got their start with Bitcoin and Counterparty, it was now these new smart contract-based networks that were getting all the attention and the money. Even Counterparty's biggest success story, Spells of Genesis, had fallen on hard times, being overlooked or dismissed entirely by the millions of new users entering into the industry. It got worse though, because even the great bull market of 2021, which saw NFTs go mainstream, did very little to change Counterparty's fate. It missed most of the action, staying below the $3 mark until August when it finally broke out and hit a high of $24 US. But it did this on such small volume relative to the countless other tokens that were absolutely killing it around this time that no one was really paying attention anymore to what XCP was doing. This was a crushing blow. A bull market ignited in large part due to the explosion around unique digital assets, and a platform first created to support those assets on the biggest blockchain in the world in Bitcoin got absolutely zero love. Simply put, the crypto industry had now left Counterparty behind. It's not all bad news though. Periodic product updates are still made available to the public, so thankfully there still is some life on the platform today. The latest meme coin sensation, that is Pepe, has also done wonders for Counterparty due to its ties to the Rare Pepe project. It's helped shed light on its origins to the plethora of new cryptonauts entering into the industry who have likely never heard of Counterparty before. Another huge plus for Counterparty was the creation of the Ethereum Emblem Vault, which launched in September of 2020. The Vault is a tokenized multi-asset wallet that supports both fungible and non-fungible tokens across many different blockchains. And what this means is that you can wrap your Spells of Genesis or Rare Pepe NFTs that live on Bitcoin and bring them on over to Ethereum. This allows the owners of these assets to gain access to the much larger NFT ecosystem, such as marketplaces like OpenSea. The awareness created around this has surely helped Counterparty given just how popular the Vault has become. And this brings us to present day, where you can still find Counterparty keeping it real on the Bitcoin blockchain. There are several important lessons to learn from the Counterparty story. with the obvious one being that just because you're the first to do something cool doesn't guarantee you success long term. As they say, timing is everything, and the idea that Counterparty had just wasn't ready for the masses. And by the time it was, others had already found newer and better ways of doing it already. This doesn't necessarily mean it's the end of Counterparty though. For starters, Bitcoin is still going strong to this very day. Plus, the world is now fully embracing the idea of NFTs on Bitcoin with the advent of ordinals. So, it could just be a matter of time before Bitcoin triggers a whole new bull market for NFTs. And if that happens, there could be some long overdue success and recognition for a platform that helped pioneer some of the most historically important innovations ever known to the blockchain. I hope you enjoyed today's stroll down memory lane. Until next time, have fun and enjoy life, my friends. I'll be back soon with another incredible story to tell you.